Hey everybody, what is up? It is I, Link, coming at you with one more Shen gameplay. If I can get the camera, there we go. One more Shen gameplay. I haven't actually played Shen in about 3 weeks. This is a very old replay that I was going to save for just a highlight reel, but I realized that I actually played rather well with Shen in this game because the person I was up against normally shuts down in solo lanes and kills pretty much anything. We have a Shen as our jungler, a Vlad as a mid. This is actually the week that Vlad was free. Teemo and Bot along with Alistar, and me in my favorite Shen skin, the Warlord skin. Now, let's see. I'm actually going to lock the camera down here. Hey look, a ward. Anyway. Not really much we can do, except the Jax does come in with the Hecarim, but the Hecarim quickly gets picked up by both of them, and Jax gets poisoned and forced to leave lane early. I'm already hit level 2, and the person I'm topping against is just appeared. But we have a Karthus in mid going up against a Vladimir. Quite an interesting combination. Vladimir's transfusion is very short range, while Karthus's Q is quite long range, so he has to make up the distance. So it's quite interesting. The Vladimir does have some issues early game holding on to his lane, but he does manage to keep it thanks to our awesome Shen. Although Bot does get ganked by Shen and Hecarim picks up the kill, while I'm up here going up against a Kassadin, who will keep spamming his Q at me, and what I do is I actually putting extra points to my W this time, so that every time I see it travel toward me, I can shield most of the damage. I mean, he does have very early lane dominance on me, and he also has a lot of stacks on his E because of that, and it's quite interesting on how I have to actually defend myself against him. I keep my distance, but I am also able to pick up a lot more CS because he is a melee magic champion, and pretty much he doesn't want to get near me because I can actually hit him for something decent. Well, I think he actually has more AD standard than I do. No, he doesn't. Oh wait, no, I have runes. Now, the thing about Kassadin is that he is very strong when you're laning against someone who spams skills. So Cass, Karthus, Lux, yeah. Anyway, there goes in our Alistar, picking up a kill on their Shen, and then picking up their Hecarim. And that's pretty much GG there, as Karthus tries coming in, but doesn't do much. I'm being completely assimilated up top, pinging for some assistance from the Shen, as he's going to go in there and hurt the Karthus and hurt the Kassadin and give me a little bit of time. I'm actually farming up some gold real quick so that I can go back and get an item, because I didn't have enough to buy everything. And by everything I mean, I think I was going for a giant spell, then I realized that it's better to get my boots. Now the reason I'm going Merc Treads instead of Ninja Tabby is, you know, Jax and Hecarim both do AD, but they also do AP, and that's where most of their bursts come. Well, his burst comes from AP, his extra damage comes from AP, those two are both APs, and Karthus' ult does get really annoying. Shen is not a mix, but he is rather difficult. Small fight going on in mid. Vladimir picks up the Shen, but Vladimir gets picked up by Karthus as they leave the Shen in lane. Now you're gonna see me up top. Keep using my feint to block his Q, which is pretty much blocking most of the damage. As Hecarim comes in trying to gank our Shen goes to a minion and gets out of there. Goes back to jungling. Now he does have lane dominance on me right now because I wasn't really doing well shielding with my W, because his Q, the travel time is 1 second no matter what, so it's hard to guess when he's close or far away from you. But he starts getting really aggressive, and I start trying to taunt him away and just do some decent damage to him. Teemo getting picked up, and Shen being picked up quite quickly as the Karthus used his ulti, I think. Now me up top, still going against this Cass. Cass finally learning to play a little bit conservative. Sorry, it's 10 in the morning. Conservative, and actually gonna try and stay in lane this time. Now, one thing you have to worry about with a Shen is the longer he stays in the lane, the stronger he's going to be later game. As you can see down here, Karthus' ulti goes off, and everyone is forced behind turret as the fight that is won by the purple team on that, or the blue team on that. Teemo running away, and there's a small fight under turret. Hecarim picks up Alistar. Alistar dies. Our Lee Sin dies, but the turret picks up the kill on Hecarim. As Teemo goes to attack their Jax, but realizes there's 3 of them there, Vladimir comes in, helps pick up the Karthus and the Lee Sin, but Jax gets a quick double kill, which sets us back rather far. Me still laning against this Kassadin, which is quite fun. I didn't want to ulti in because there was no real fight there. It was more so trying to pick up the blue, and it turned into a fight. So, yeah. My CS, I think, is around 70 right now, or 74. Pretty good for 14 minutes in. Not what I want, but this Kassadin is shutting it down quite a bit. Now, a thing about Shen is Shen scales pretty much on how much tank he is. But anyway, Hecarim gets picked up by Teemo's poison. Lee Sin goes in there, tags their Lee Sin with his Q, and Jax is picked up by Lee Sin as they go after the next Lee Sin, but Karthus is in there. They lose their fight to Karthus as Vladimir picks up both Lee Sin and Karthus. Me up top, trying to now be very aggressive to this Kassadin because he is low on mana, and this is giving me a nice small chance to actually do some serious damage. Now, as you've seen right there, he used his... well, so much. Okay, so Teemo actually going out to... with the Alistar to ward. Not much really happens here, except the Alistar does get picked up. Lee Sin now going after the Jax, killing the Jax with his Q. Now going after the Hecarim. Hecarim uses E, gets some extra speed, but he gets locked up by Hecarim. Vladimir comes in to help, uses his troll pool to try and slow him, and they both get away safely. Me down bot, actually, I was standing in the bush, 1, waiting for him, and 2, actually watching that to see if I could jump in and help. This is around the level where Shen is most strong. His level 1 R doesn't do much. It only does 250, which, for level 6, it might be good, depending on who you're putting it on. If you're putting on a tank, it's to teleport in, it's kind of useless, and if you're putting on someone who's taking too much fire, it's useless, so... until you reach level 2, it becomes a lot more versatile. Lee Sin coming from behind the turret, taking a turret shot, and dashing to a minion. I'm actually recalling right now, but the Vladimir comes in from the bottom, going to Sanguine Pool over the Karthus, slowing down Karthus underneath the turret. Him tossing down his ulti, Karthus taking some damage and getting picked up by the ulti as the Lee Sin barely takes any damage, and the Alistar comes in to try and ruin his fun. Now, as you've seen, I left lane. I picked up Merc Treads and everything I need for a Warmogs. Now, the reason I always pick teleport is because Shen needs to be everywhere. If a Shen isn't where you are, it's kind of bad, because I returned and I came right back to lane. So I'm going to have a level advantage and experience advantage on him. And with all this extra health and regen, I am really able to harass this Kassadin really well. I'm actually waiting for him. Yeah, they're calling me out because I never use my ulti. I never use it because it's really not a good time to use it. Although Jax does pick up a double kill, and Hecarim and Jax are now free at that turret, as the Hecarim is rather low. I'm actually trying to farm up just a little bit of gold right now so I can finish my Warmogs and be even more tanky. Now the reason I go Warmogs first and not Randuin's is because I don't find Randuin's worth it. Sure, it gives you armor, but Shen scales on armor really well. Anyway, here's a gank. The Lee Sin actually kicks me away. I dash while slowed, use my shield to block all the damage from Karthus' W, or no, it's his E, and back away to my turret. Now, with our Lee Sin coming in, I realize that I can actually help here, so I'm going to run in, dash. He realizes he can't win the fight. Although this Lee Sin won't give up on me, I pop my shield, and I get away free. Now we're going to speed this up, because not much is happening, although this Vlad is going to pick up the Karthus with his E, as the Hecarim comes in, trying to pick up the Vladimir. He does, and takes 2 turret shots. I go in there, I actually bought a potion of Fortitude, or Elixir of Fortitude, because I couldn't afford anything else, and it's a really good alternative. Now this Lee Sin, out of position, getting caught up by both of us, and letting our Lee Sin get a double kill off the Kassadin and that Lee Sin. Now anyway, the reason I pick up the Elixir of Fortitude is it gives me a little bit of AD, which really isn't necessary. It's more to help me laning. and it also gives me some nice health. I'm not sure how much health it gives me. I have to guess here, but it gives me a little bit of health. I'm gonna actually check real quick what it says in the consumable menu. Up to 235, so I'm gonna guess around 180 health it's given me. It's just a little bit, but it helps my attacks that actually scale off of it. Ha. I love the chat sometimes. Me actually pushing turret and about to break it down when... Actually, no, I think I do break it down and then the Kassadin appears. Vladimir getting very, very harassing to the Karthus. The Karthus picked up an early Warmogs, which is interesting. He should have gotten Abyssal Scepter so he could have kept laning against the Vladimir, because the Vladimir actually is going to continue to dominate him because he doesn't have enough defense, and the Vladimir has... Well, the Vladimir bought a Giant's Belt because that's pretty much all he needs. Anyway, small team fight happening here. I'm actually going to be checking their blue, see if I can steal it. Then I realize Kassadin's down there, and this is about time they need me. So I'm running. Teemo picks up a kill on Jax. Now the Lee Sin runs away. I teleport to the Lee so he can get out, as I realize he walked into everyone else. So I am now out of my taunt, but we lock up the Kassadin, picking him off. He dashes away. Lee Sin kicks through everyone. Now, Vlad uses his ultimate, doing some nice damage to everyone. Picking up a double kill is the Karthus, but our Teemo picks up a double, and I pick up a finishing blow on the Lee Sin. That was a really good team fight, really solid, and now it's about the time we take the mid turret. Ugh. Okay, excuse me, I have actually some really bad allergies. So the Jax comes in trying to finish me off. Really not worth it because I'm Jax. Or wait, what? I'm Shen. How did I get those two confused? Anyway, sitting on 1.6 right here. Gonna pick up my Warmogs, and that's about it. I was actually debating to stay in to get my next item. They break a turret, and I completely forgot about it. So the next item you'll see in a minute. Teemo getting shut down bot. Now Karthus using his ultimate to try and turn the tides of a fight. Jax killing our Vladimir. Our Lee Sin dying to Hecarim, and me going mid because I think that Karthus is going to be pushing our turret, which he is. So I'm actually going to dash in there, lock him up, use my basic and my passive to do some nice damage. Gonna just walk through that. Even though it does take away a little bit of my defense, it doesn't really take away that much. Only about 20, so I'm still rather tanky to him. I'm pretty much tanky to everything on their team because they all do mixed damage. I use my E to get through the wall, my W to block any incoming damage. As the Lee Sin comes in, misses his Q. I don't know how that happened. Although we do sit in the bush waiting for them. Not much to really happen. I do go down here and start pinging their location. As we all contemplate what to do, Teemo, the moving ward, puts down a mushroom, trying to ward this little area. As they all go for the Alistar, who gets the heck out of there. Oh yeah, he's got level 3 boots. Anyway, me going in here, taunting the Hecarim so that we can have a little bit of advantage. Karthus wasting his flash, barely around that corner. Lee Sin Vladimir going to pick him up with his E. Now we're going to focus the Hecarim after Teemo's poison picks up the Jax. And then Vlad's transfusion picks up the Hecarim. Now Lee Sin is actually running for his life, teleporting to a warden here. Now, I'm not sure if his teleport can actually go, or his dash can go to Teemo's mushrooms. That would actually be really good for a ranked duo team. Have a mid or solo top Teemo, and then have a mid, or have a jungle be a Lee Sin. That'd be quite interesting. I've actually been contemplating a lot of ranked team type deals, like team compositions, because I've actually just started doing ranked games. I've done one so far. And it's quite interesting because I went up against a team that had all global alts. They had a Pantheon, a Gangplank, a Twisted Fate, a Nocturne, and I can't remember the other one. Gangplank, Nocturne, Twisted Fate. Who was their support? I couldn't remember. Anyway, Alistar taking some serious damage. Karthus ult going out. Gonna pick him up. Kassadin tries to get the kill out, although Kassadin is low at the point of this. Now, it's pretty much Lee Sin and Vlad. Lee Sin getting picked up by Kassadin's Q. The Vladimir now getting away from the fight as Teemo is porting back to base. This is kind of looking bad for us. I mean, it is rather bad. I mean, it's 28 to 26. I haven't died a single time yet. I'm actually the highest level on my team, higher than the mid, and I have much more tankiness than I need. Although they do come in here, try to gank me. I flash over the wall, walk through there, taunt the Karthus, so Karthus will die. As their whole team is now here, I'm rather low, but there's no real need. I'm going to try and pick up some kills with my Vorpal Blade so I can get some health regen. I mean, yeah, 62 over 5 isn't good. So I'm actually still putting stacks onto my Warmog, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going back to pick up the single Wraith. Okay? Just gonna pick that up. They don't know I'm here. Although the Hecarim comes in, stuns me against the wall, Jax hops over, and they terrify me. I get stunned again, and they pick me up after a silence. All the CC. That hurt. Anyway, I am now picking up the makings to get a Force of Nature, which will pretty much help me with the rest of their team. Now we're going to see the Hecarim going in there, getting popped up, and Transfusion to pretty much get hit with the Sanguine Pool as the Lee Sin is keeping up with him, killing him with his ultimate. Jax now getting knocked away and going to be chased by the Alistar. Teemo picks him up with a nice blinding dart. There, Lee Sin being popped up and pushed back by the Alistar as Kassadin. Oh no! Wait, Lee Sin kicks him back. Although he does knock the Karthus into the turret as the Kassadin is out there getting hit by everyone. Karthus ulti going out, getting a double kill, and me actually using my shield to block all the damage, which is quite funny. It does actually hit through my shield, which I didn't quite understand. Maybe it's true damage. I don't think it does it, but I'm not sure. I'm just CSing right now so I can get stacks on my Warmogs, which is quite a necessity for Shen once you actually get a Warmogs. Now back to the Randuins. I don't understand why people get it. Sure, you get a health regen, you get that slow if they attack you, and you get the gold over 5 item while you're making it. I don't see the appeal to it. A Warmogs is much better because it gives him a nice chunk of health, which scales on his Q, and scales on his passive, which gives him quite a bit of damage, especially burst damage. Now those guys hitting a Teemo Shroom and all coming up to go kill us. Vlad using his Troll Pool. It's pretty much all of us right now with the Alistar. Lee Sin's out of here. Hecarim killing our Vladimir. Lee Sin killing the Kassadin, and then their Lee Sin killing our Teemo. Now we're pretty much out of power classes here. We've got the tank. We've got Lee Sin, who's rather tanky. Pretty much we have all the tanks out right now, which is quite good. I do pick up blue buff here for myself because Shen with blue buff is actually really strong because it lowers the cooldowns of all of his abilities and makes the energy over time increase, which is really good. It allows you to shield and use your dash more often. It's only 30, but I don't even know what happened there. A fail dash. Alistar going in there, locking up the Karthus, using his Randuins to slow down the Hecarim. As the Hecarim gets really slowed by Lee Sin, although not much they can do because they both dispersed. They are going to try, but they both are getting attacked by the Jax and the other Lee Sin. Not sure what the heck is happening right now, although it's the Jax and the Hecarim versus the two the Lee Sin versus our Lee Sin. I'm going down bot, kind of not knowing the heck is going on. I wasn't paying attention. They do pick up the Alistar. They're going after everyone, although Teemo does pick up the Jax, and now they're going to go after the Hecarim as Teemo's walking around. But Teemo is going to be completely destroyed, but kicked over the wall. Kassadin's going to try now go after the Teemo. I'm going to shield the Teemo, give the Teemo a little bit of time, come in, dash through two of them. Teemo does get killed, but he does pick up a kill with his poison. Now the Lee Sin is completely out of position and both low, as a full Shen is in here doing some nice damage. Vladimir picking up the Lee Sin, and Lee Sin picking up the Hecarim. Now we ping for the mid turret. As I think I teleport top. Yes, I do. I teleport top and I start pushing so that we can add more pressure to the towers. As Karthus comes up here, I taunt Karthus, start doing some nice damage, and I actually force him to return in a few seconds. The only reason I did stay up there so long is that he wouldn't go back to the mid turret. I actually let some of the minions go by and start picking them up right around now, so that I have more freedom. And I think I have full stacks now, yes? Yes, I do. And I pick up my Force of Nature and another Giant's Belt. 4k health, and my regen is 178 over 5, which is really good. So that's every 10 seconds, that's about 400 health. No. Maybe close. By key strike on, it's 600 health. Either way. Picking up the Jax, and the Jax killing our Vladimir, who should have just troll pooled. Now, we're going after their mid turret, because not many of them are up right now. As you can kind of see. Oh, I didn't do the 20-minute items. That kind of sucks. Let's do it right now. Because there's not much that's going to happen. We already ran over my build. The Teemo with a Hex Drinker, Malady, Frozen Mallet. Running an interesting build. If he was going that build, he should have gotten rid of the Hex Drinker and bought the Hex Drinker and the Pickaxe and bought a Black Cleaver. Lee Sin running a normal Lee Sin build. Same with Vladimir. And Alistar going very tanky. Now that ulti comes in, which is lowering the Lee Sin and him. Now it is 3v me. So I actually have to run through here with a person with a blink and a speed buff, along with a dash and a leap. So I have literally to try and get away from all of them. Getting slowed by the Karthus, or the Kassadin. Gonna try my hardest to get out of here. Gonna turn on my shield, juke through the wall. That Lee Sin can still get to me. I'm going to try and stay out of his range. As the Vladimir gets away, they ward Dragon, and I can get away without dying. That was kind of amazing. But anyway, back to the builds. Their Lee Sin running a more damaging Lee Sin. That's... Oh wait, what? Yeah, more damaging Lee Sin. And honestly, look what that got him. Our Lee Sin is doing much better, although he has more deaths. There, Jax running a typical Jax build. I think he's building a Phantom Dancer, which is quite interesting. Karthus picking up his Zhonya's and his Archangel Staff a little bit late, although his CS is quite good. The Hecarim, I don't know what the Hecarim's doing. And that Kassadin, I don't know what that Kassadin's doing. I really don't. The Alistar picking up a Shurelya's. My turret finally gonna fall. Not really. Although I do taunt the Hecarim, picking him up, slowing him with the ulti of the Vladimir, gonna do some nice damage, seeing where he is. Although 3 of them, me out of position, they're going to go after the Vlad. I think I ulti into the Vlad. Yes, I do. Giving him a nice extra health pool, just so we can get away. I'm gonna dash through the Jax, and I'm gonna start picking at the Jax as our Lee Sin finishes off the Jax. And the other Lee Sin, very slow, going to be completely annihilated by a Key Burst and a kick from the Lee Sin. I'm going to 1v1 this Karthus real quick and pretty much completely annihilate him because he can't do anything. He does use his Zhonya's, and I'm actually healing 32 a second. He does try to run away, and I actually pick him up with my Vorpal Blade, as I actually just stand here and don't really care as he attacks me with his Q. It's kind of funny how much damage it's not doing to me. Although we have a small fight over here, their Hecarim being very slowed by everything and getting killed by the Alistar, who is quite... Well, actually they're not low, but they should get out of there. Now me and this Lee Sin are pushing the lane, but this is almost GG. We have about 4 minutes left in the gameplay, which is not much, just us pushing turrets. The Lee Sin, or the Kassadin going after the Alistar, doing some nice damage. Although we do contemplate Baron, I pick up a Sunfire Cloak and a Sight Ward. Now I'm very tanky and I do a lot of damage. Actually, how much do? I do about 300. And with this I do not that much, about 150. Like I said, it's not that much, but it's enough to whittle someone down. Although me and the Alistar are over here doing some damage. Alistar using his Randuins, and I'm going to keep dashing through everyone, trying to lead them over to my team, dashing through them yet again, popping my shield. Alistar in the middle of everything. Teemo doing some damage to everyone. Lee Sin now in the fight, gonna go after the Karthus. Doesn't go after the Karthus. The Jax leaps over the Lee Sin, although the Lee Sin does shield the Teemo from most of the damage. Now they are going to go and kill the Jax. The Kassadin now running for his life into their base, actually just using Rift Walk. And I'm pretty sure this is where they say GG. Nope, there's actually one fight left. We actually never get to Baron. Although we do pick up this Hecarim rather quickly. As in pick up, I mean get him out of here. We do kill the Karthus and the Kassadin. So many Ks and Cs. Wait, they're both Ks. Teemo and the Hecarim, I actually did lag there. I start killing Baron by myself, but this is when they surrender. If you enjoyed the content provided, leave a like. If you want to stay current, subscribe. And I'll talk to you all later.